Does everyone know who Matt Walsh is? Because some funny, goofy stuff has happened recently. No idea who that is? Sorry? Alright, well, it's fine, because I'll just give you the rundown, because I'm going to do it anyways. Matt Walsh is a big media figure on the Daily Wire. He is more recently known for going after trans people and trans care, which, however you feel about, like, you know, people transitioning and all that, you have to admit what he's doing is going about it the wrong way, because the only thing that's happened from what he's been doing is been sparking bomb threats against children's hospitals and public universities. It's never anything of like, oh, well, here's the facts on all this. It's just like, no, these people are evil and should be stopped by any means necessary. And then, boom, there's a bomb threat the next day. And the people are, yeah. There's always some shit like that. Yeah, that's just wrong. Like I said, however you feel about it, you have to agree with the way he's doing it is a pretty bad way. You know, a bomb threat against a children's hospital is probably one of the worst things to inspire, you know, because it's children. But with all of that said, there has been recent clips come out of his true nature. So let's just get into that. So this is the guy who claims that he wants to protect children from doctors and trans people and all of that. So if he really wants to protect the children, let's find out about how he's going to do that.
None. It is not. In fact, ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century.
There's a lot of nuanced arguments, and he doesn't sound like he has any of them. Yeah. He doesn't. He's just like, trans people bad at all cases. And get rid of them however you can. That's how he is. Meanwhile, here he is right now in an old clip of this. I mean, I don't know how old it is, but it's really doesn't matter because he's over here saying that teenagers should be getting pregnant. You know, teenagers, kids, children. Ooh, yeah. Kids should be getting pregnant. No, guys, I'm here to protect the children from the menace. I don't know, he seems like a menace to me. I think stochastic terrorism is his desired goal. He was getting exactly what he wanted. It's like old Tucker. No, it is their goal. It really is their goal. They want people to be scared to even help. Because with the Boston Children's Hospital thing, there was no like trans care being done on children there. There was doctors who do, you know, transition surgery on adults in different hospitals who also have jobs at the children's hospital. But that was enough for these people to just go off the fucking deep end to to shut down a children's hospital for a few hours. Children, which denied the care for children with like cancer and shit. That's fucked up. But whatever it takes to stop people from being trans, he doesn't care. How I feel that is we should have a more in-depth education on the topic so that people can make informed decisions, which would be a great way, right? If that's what like Republicans wanted, I would sit down at the table. I would love to talk with this, but this man is just like, it's evil. These are agents of Satan. Something's got to do something about it. Which way, Western man? Where will you go? And then all of a sudden, a few days later, boom, children's hospitals starting to get blown up. Boom, Vanderbilt University is having to, go on lockdown because people are worried that they're going to die. It's fucked up. You're not going to convince everyone like being trans is fine, but at least most people will agree. Maybe we shouldn't bomb and threaten to shut down universities. That's a bad call. Or children's hospitals. It's bad, right?
But ever since they started keeping records, in 1957 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957. Not 2009,
well, back
not
then,
today.
All of them were supposed to have kids. Like, that's when you had kids.
That's my point, okay? So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So
I'm just going to start by stating facts. It's a good way just to make it sound like what he's about to say is way less shitty than what he's about to say. I may be wrong and I accept that, but I am willing to change. Adequate information is presented. You're better than a lot of people who I've argued with on this stream. I've showed them like facts and statistics and they'd be like, but I don't know. It could be. I don't know. It feels wrong. In Russia, there's such folk wisdom. The USSR tried to make a smart one out of every fool, and now they're trying to make a fool out of every smart one. It's not only about Russia, it's about the whole world. Nah, that's true. It's true. Which I think why we should have more education. But that's just me. Education costs money, apparently, as we've discussed earlier.
So fact number 1, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number 2, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for, the first 6 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing. Fact 3, girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's when they're technically most fertile. And that's not true. It's actually between the ages of like 21 to 28. So he just bumped it down. He bumped it down a few years just so he could get before 18. He just tried to sneak it in. Who? Weird. And also the whole this was normal back then is back then this is what they did for thousands of years. Such a stupid argument because it's like doesn't mean it's good. And hey, I've used the argument of like, hey, there have been trans people for thousands of years, and they're like, oh, but it's still wrong. It's like, well, hey, what the fuck, Matt Walsh? It's weird. I think main gray area for me is transition operation before a person is 18. Yeah, good thing that wasn't happening at either of the institutions that he inspired some of these, these attacks on. Good thing that wasn't even a thing. Everyone was above the age of 18. Wild.
That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. But what happened recently, and this is the 4th fact, recently in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family.
Why?
And because now
divorce rates would probably go up, and once you're that young, you can't really make sure that you know.
No, girls are no.
Because girls were getting married early, and marriages were lasting longer. You very rarely hear.
Marriages were lasting longer in the 1950s. Hey, divorce wasn't legal yet, you fucking idiot. Yeah. Oh, I love this though. I do love this. The whole thing of just 18, you're not in your early 20s and your 18s. You're not smart enough to go through, transitioning. Whether transitioning to them is just whether surgery or you just get a new haircut. It's all the same for them. But it's like, oh, you're too young for that. You don't understand. Meanwhile, 16-year-old? Yeah, get pregnant. That's fine. Yeah, I can start a family. You're perfectly old enough for that. It's biological. As long as you're doing doesn't hurt others, it's none of my business. You do you. It's fine. For the people who are like, we promote, civil liberty and do what you want. We're a small party government. Boy, oh boy, do they like being the moral police.
About like these relationships that go to their your diamond anniversary, your 50th anniversary, and all this. That's a dying breed of people out there.
Yeah, and those were all people that got married very young. That's why
they're still alive.
Yeah, that's why you can have someone in their 70s who's celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary because they got married when they were teenagers. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy, it's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society. It's only
teenagers should get pregnant as long as they get married. Good old shotgun weddings, am I right? Ew. That's just gross. It makes me feel bad when people just like say this because they're saying what's socially acceptable and they know that they've had to calculate it so like down to a T just to make sure what they said is not particularly bad, but you can still like read behind the lines of it all and it's just like it's gross. They sound like I don't know if like y'all know about like maps or all that, but like pedophiles who like want to be like accepted by society, but it's like a lot of the same type of language that Republicans use to where they describe like, oh no, teenage marriages is perfectly fine, right? Ugh, I hate it. But yeah, this came to light, and good old Walsh had to come out and talk about it, like talk about like why he's not a creep. Republicans, huh? Literally nobody says that. Maybe some inbred trash in Alabama. Bro, we just saw Walsh talking about that. He's like one of the big guys. Good way to like just block out what we were talking about in the whole fucking stream when you showed up. Huh. The age of consent exists for a reason. The brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25. Yeah, it does. You know, we all do dumb shit when we're teenagers, but to think that we should promote that activity is fucking stupid. This is not like something that's incredibly healthy for everyone. Some people can handle it, some people can't. And either way it goes, teen pregnancy is bad. You don't have a job, you're in school. Get your life together, then start a family, for the love of God. Please. But yeah, Matt Walsh had to, he's going to address like what he was talking about in this clip. So let's see.
And I expected that something like this might happen. It had to happen. I've been successful in fighting against the left's agenda, especially the trans agenda, and especially recently.
I've been successful in fighting against the agenda. Yeah, inspiring bomb threats on literal children sure helps. That's definitely winning.
Those who support the sexual mutilation of children know full well that I am a threat to them because we're winning and they're losing.
Sexual mutilation of children, even though he's, pro-teen pregnancy, which I would count as mutilation, because, yeah. I don't support sexual mutilation of children. I don't. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think there's a sane person who is. But there is a difference between letting, children just like wear a dress if they want to or not. Like, that's very different. Telling kids like why trans people exist is very different than just lobbing off body parts. That's a very small, minute case, and that's only in the most extreme circumstances. But, you can't tell him anything. He wants to have 16-year-olds become big-bellied and barefoot.
And they know that too. And they can't engage with our arguments. They can't oppose us on the battlefield of ideas. So instead, they look for another way.
They can't engage with our arguments and battlefield of ideas. Meanwhile, he turns down every opportunity people, try to come in with documents and to talk to him and all about that. The only time he ever really engaged with ideas from the opposite camp is from his documentary, What is a Woman? And he misled those poor people. He said it was going to be like a documentary where like transitioning for like trans adults. So if you get people coming out there who are like, yeah, I'm a trans adult and here's why I think it's good. Oh, we're talking about children? Okay, that's weird. That's not what you told me about. But, we're talking about why it's bad? Dude, I'm going to get out here. And then he would just like clip it down to his like, dude, I'm just going to get out of here. And then just make a whole movie about that.
And now they're convinced they found their kill shot against me by using the same method they always use, which is digging up ancient history, doing the internet equivalent of rummaging through garbage cans to find things that were done and said years ago which can be used to defame and, they hope, silence me today. So yes,
Notice how he didn't say it's like, I've changed since then. I'm not that person anymore. He's just like, this is what they always do. They always want to find the bad things about me.
My PR team over at Media Matters apparently wasn't satisfied to promote just my current show and all the work they do there. So they decided to go back 15 years to my time as a rock radio host on an obscure station in Delaware, which is also an obscure state. And they spent, it would seem, many tedious hours listening to segments and bits from my time as a shock jock in my early 20s. It could not have been easy to sit through. I commend their persistence, at least. And now they've compiled their findings into an expose that promises to reveal my, quote, sordid past. Honestly, I never thought of myself as having a sordid past. I figured my life was far too boring and sort of banal and normal for that.
Oh, wow. He doesn't consider what he says as bad. He considers it as boring, normal, banal, whatever. It's really weird. I'm also going to change the speed real quick so we can get through it a little quicker, because this is 15 minutes. We're only a minute and a half in. Just too soft? I guess you're just too soft, you pansy.
But it turns out that I'm a more interesting person than I had previously thought. So as for the vultures at Media Matters and the leftists who've picked up this hit piece and run with it, they are not very interesting. They are doing what they always do. They're as pathetic and desperate as I've always known them.
It's not interesting saying that teen pregnancy is a good thing and we should keep doing it.
To be. The left, they're not interested in investigating children's hospitals that literally castrate and butcher children.
They do not. A quick cursory Google search into the documents will show that's not a thing. You know, you can get like public documents from hospitals pretty easily. You can see what doctors are their, in their professions do. It's fairly simple and easy and legal. You can see what doctors do. It's like, oh, he's a gynecologist, and sometimes he performs these surgeries. Huh, neat. Oh, he's a proctologist, and he does this. Okay. Oh, cool. She's an optometrist, and she does these surgeries sometimes, but also does this at a different hospital. Okay. You know what they didn't see? Transition surgeries for minors. So you know what they said? Oh, well, of course they're not going to put that out there. Why would they? So, basic baseline conspiracy level bullshit that ended up hurting people. But what do you expect?
In fact, such investigations, I've been told, are an act of terrorism. But they will take the time to scour the internet for evidence that
Investigations, i.e. making up bullshit claims. Which, yeah, just saying stuff like that, yeah, encouraging bomb threats, yeah, that is a little bit of terrorism.
I made offensive remarks when I was 23 years old. That, in their minds, is far more relevant to the public. It's a matter of greater national urgency, they think.
Yeah, yes. You saying something that's happening, but it's not, and it's fake, versus you saying something that you fully believe. So fake thing versus real thing you said. I think they're going to take the real thing more literally than the fake thing. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I'm doing good, Hefe. How are you doing?
So, with that in mind, let's talk now, if this is what they want to talk about, for a few moments about the deep, dark secrets of
appreciate
my past,
that.
the skeletons that have been hiding in my closet, waiting to be discovered by intrepid reporters at Media Matters. I will tell you the whole ghastly story, even the parts that Media Matters didn't include. I'll tell you the whole story. So when I was 20 years old, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a small town in Delaware and started working at a rock station with a staggering audience that easily reached into the hundreds, I think. Those are my humble beginnings, or maybe the dark and sinister origins of the world's most notorious terrorist.
Oh, I didn't have that big of an audience back then, so yeah, whatever. And I say some dumb shit on this stream, I do. I say a lot. I mix up my words. I stutter. I say some outlandish shit a lot of times just for, just to be edgy and some goofs and gaffs, It's what you do. But I'm fully aware that it can come back to bite me in the, in the butt. And that's why I'm fully prepared, and I will let that happen if I have to, That's why I keep all my VODs permanent. I'm not a coward. I know that me using my public image is going to be attached to me in my public image. I'm not a fucking dumbass. Everyone on TV has humble beginnings. Even Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who had rich parents, have to say they had humble beginnings. I mean, in public matters, yeah, a little bit. I mean, they do. They're not like known for their views or all that. So putting your views out there and then crying when someone like looks at your old views is fucking, that's a big baby mode.
Depending on who you listen to. So I worked at the station until I was 25. For a couple of years during that period, I hosted a morning show where we often did flout the rules of political correctness, as was the custom on morning radio at the time.
Later, Samir.
In their hit piece,
Appreciate
Media
you
Matters
being here.
presents evidence.
Health and happiness to you two and your family, dude. That's so sweet. Thank you for being here. It was fun. It was great. Nice. There was an interesting antagonist in a story I experienced recently. He was not a person, but a manifestation of humanity's fear of the future and a desire to maintain the status quo given ego and a humanoid form. Man, I wonder which party he likes. I wonder if he's a conservative or a liberal or a leftist. I wonder.
That I used racially insensitive humor, that I told inappropriate jokes, that I engaged in lots of offensive activities. All of that, of course, is true.
Okay.
They also accuse me of physically abusing our radio interns.
Okay, it's true. No apology. No apology. No, guys, I'm not that person anymore. I've learned. I know that that was wrong. No, it's just like, yeah. And nothing.
By tasing one of them as a joke. That's also true. And I submit, still funny. In fairness, I got tased too. In fact, I invented a game back in those days.
They accused me of tasing someone, and I did. It was funny. But to be fair, I got tased too. What kind of defense is that, bro? He's arguing like a 5-year-old who gets in trouble for hitting his 3-year-old brother, you know? Like, but he hit me too. You fucking dolt. He literally says there are no losers in the world I made. With the turn of a clock, anyone can be a winner given the time. We all have economic opportunity. We all have equal opportunity, bro. This is why equity is the stupidest thing.
It's called Taser Trivia, where, as the name suggests, you are asked trivia questions, and if you get it wrong, you get tased. Media Matters didn't post that video, but they should have, because it's quite shocking, literally and figuratively. So I'll post it for you now. Here it is.
Category will be science and nature.
Okay.
And the 3 question: what astrological chart takes its name from a Greek word meaning circle of little animals?
Oh, no. No. Hold on. All right. Astrological chart that takes its name from what?
Circle. Let me read this again.
Oh, this sucks,
I'm not
guys.
getting the taser out. Circle of little animals.
In this world, everyone is
Circle of
born a
animals.
soldier, 10 years to live. They have to feed or fight flame that feeds the antagonist. By the way, I forgot, in Russia, medicine is free for everyone,
answer is,
including foreigners. If you fall unconscious on the street, an ambulance will arrive. They will resurrect you. They will do all the necessary operations so that you live and will be released, and no one will issue a bill. Dude, why are you making Russia sound so good right now? Why? Why do you do that to me? Why do you tease me with a good life? Why must you do that? It's painful. It's painful, Samir. You're hurting me. Ow.
The chart of the chart of magnesia.
I might have to.
Now, if I should be canceled for anything, it should be for being such a pansy in that video. That was embarrassing, actually. Get it together. I mean, it does hurt to get tased, and for some reason we decided to add the blindfolds into it as well to just make it more, because you never know when the tase is coming. Our biggest mistake was that we used Trivial Pursuit questions. We used like old school Trivial Pursuit as the questions for taser trivia. I don't think anyone.
Okay, sure. And there are consuls running war between the two factions to keep themselves alive. Yeah, that does sounds oddly reminiscent of something. See ya. Take care, Samir.
Anyone got the answer right, so we just got tased 50 times. Anyway, that's the sort of content that you missed out on if you didn't live in southern Delaware in the early 2000s. But there's more. Media Matters reveals that I once challenged the intern to lick the inside of a dumpster, which again is true, but the part they leave out is that afterwards we called a doctor on the air to find out what sort of diseases he might have picked up from the stunt. And from what I recall, the answer was many. Also, again, as Media Matters exposes,
Does it say why it's bad? Creating a harmful workplace. Like, again, I'm young. I will do dumb shit. all the fucking time. It's what I do. I do dumb shit. I'm a punk. I have dumpster dived before for a joke from me and my buddy. We just did it just to see, like, hey, it's a rite of passage. Everyone I've known has done it. We gotta do it too, so we did. You don't encourage that, and you definitely don't bring that into the workforce. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and apologize. Like, you can still have fond, reminiscent memories of it, but, like, don't encourage that, right? It's like the whole Tide Pod thing. I imagine there's a lot of people who have, a lot of fond, reminiscent memories of chowing down on Tide Pods. But should we tell kids that it's fun and okay to do it? Probably not. Probably not. Put asterisks where they need to be. Bare minimum.
Like any other hacky morning show at the time, we did prank calls, and some of the prank calls were offensive by current standards. Sometimes on a call, I would imitate.
What's your favorite Tide Pod flavor? I never ate a Tide Pod. I ate a Gain Fling. I did do that. I did do that. It was like 2016. I was being edgy, and I chomped my way through a Gain Fling. It was awful.
A black man. On one occasion, I attempted to portray a man with split personalities, one of whom was black and the other white. It was very high concept sort of work, and it worked better on paper than it did in execution, I could tell you. But not all of our prank calls were racially charged. Only most of them were. We did one where I called a hotel pretending to be a wizard who had left his magical sword in his room.
All right, so I'm just done with this video because he's just doing the same thing. He's like, yes, the bad things I did. They're true. I will not apologize because they were funny and I like doing them. Like, not even attempting like an insincere apology. Like, these aren't like big issues, right? Like, different time period, sure. Dumb kid, sure. But to even just at least say, like, I know why these are bad. I've learned. I've grown as a person. Nah. And it's because he knows his audience doesn't care. He knows his audience is like, yeah, no, it's funny. It was like Steven Crowder. Haha. Haha. Right? But, yeah. So, in a rundown, we have a man who encourages the bombing of children's hospitals and encourages teen pregnancy. And he doesn't see why those things are bad. Or he knows why those are bad. But he will not apologize. So points on him for being at least self-aware. All laughs, no thoughts. All laughs, no thoughts. In the big fucking brain. The big Mondo forehead. Like, I got a big forehead, but goddamn. Got the fucking Peyton Manning forehead over here. The funniest thing is that the antagonist's last words were pretty much a hissy fit, like, I hate it, 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 referring to the world. I could park a car in that forehead. I could land a plane on that forehead. Bruh. No, alright. So, unironically, talking about big foreheads, because I make fun of mine. It's not, mine ain't that big, but I make fun of it because for a long time I thought it was huge. But, like, have y'all seen Peyton Manning's, like, y'all know Peyton Manning. We don't get that many heroes in this state, but Peyton Manning is one of them. Just one of the greatest football players, in my mind. Definitely one of the greatest quarterbacks. Like, Tom Brady ain't shit to Peyton Manning, in my mind. But, plus, we also have Brett Favre, but fuck Favre. Oh my god, I gotta zoom the. Oh, that's terrible picture quality. Let's go with this one. Let's open this picture. Y'all know Peyton Manning, the man himself. This is a real thinker's forehead. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Like, I love this man, so all of this is in good faith. But, hold on. I got a better picture. Peyton Manning. Bust. Y'all ain't seen the fucking bust they did for the Hall of Fame. God got bored. Oh, we got bored too. And then we made it funny because this is the fucking statue that we gave him when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame. We did I mean, it's pretty close. Like, I can't lie, it's pretty close. But we did this man wrong. We did him wrong. Oh, dude, I fucking love it. I love it. Shout out to Peyton Manning. And shout out to Peyton Manning's bust.